everybody, it's your girl, Famous Nobody's in the building. Reporting to you guys at 23 weeks and 3 days. Today, I would say I feel okay for right now. I did go to the hospital last night, and the reason I went to the hospital, I was having really bad Braxton Hicks, and it turned from that to feeling really faint. And then I felt as though my arm was going numb on me. And I had a lot of black dots in my eyes when I was standing up. So I would sit down. Like every time I went to stand up, I had really bad back pain right here in my lower back. And it just kind of went downward. And then I started to have pain right here in my right uterine. And it was coming every 5 minutes. So naturally, I was like, well, I got to make sure I'm not, in labor because I did suffer 2 miscarriages just a year and a half ago. And then in 2009, I suffered a miscarriage at just 5.5 months along. Excuse me, I just randomly went walking to the corner store, and by the time I got back to my son's father's house, I had dilated like 1 or 2 centimeters. And then for the next following week or 2, I was just bleeding like a regular period. And so I had to go to the hospital, obviously. The first diagnosis was that there was a tear in my water bag. That's why I was getting the water and the blood. And the second diagnosis was an ectopic pregnancy, which was just ludicrous, and I threw that out of the window because, first of all, the baby is the size of a carrot at 5.5, and it's like, come on, no, that's not it. But the tear in the bag was more than likely, and unfortunately, my son August didn't make it. It wasn't a viable pregnancy. There wasn't much that could be done about it, and having to push out a child that you can't revive it's horrendous. It's, that pain stays with me forever, but I'm glad that I'm okay and I'm still here to be with my 16-year-old son and my 21-year-old daughter. And my daughter, she actually accompanied me last night to the hospital, and she stayed with me. We went in at around 11:45. We went and picked her brother up from work and then dropped him off home to my mom. And then we proceeded to the hospital, and we got checked in by 12 a.m. and we got out of there 15 minutes before 3. It just so happened my regular doctor was there, and she was helping another woman deliver a baby. So I was glad that she was there at the hospital, and she ordered me, you have to forgive me. Like I said, I didn't get home until about 5. So, well, no, I was home at 4:30, but I took a shower, so I didn't get in bed until about 5. My doctor ordered me a cervical check, and also they wanted to check cervical measurements. 3 centimeters is pretty much what they're looking for. Anything lower than that, then that's what they would be worried about. I think either the thickness of the lining is supposed to be 3 centimeters. I think that's what she was saying. Anyhow, they did an ultrasound with the thickness of my cervix. Once they did a vaginal test to make sure that I wasn't leaking water, because I had some really watery discharge earlier in the day and I had reported that. So that was a big concern. And they were like, oh no, give us a second. Let's do all the tests and let's get the results back. So she said, no, you're not leaking any fluid. So that's good. Now we're going to check the cervix. And so I just hate when people like, not people, but like, I know, I know the doctors have to do what they have to do, but like, I just felt like when she put those fingers inside of me, like she just went like so in there, and it was just like I could see my daughter, my 21-year-old, sitting in the corner like, I don't want to see this, and I'm like, I don't want to feel this. But she was like, oh my god, no, it's fine. It seems like everything's okay. Now we need to check the measurement of the thickness. She was like, because what we're worried about is you having a incompetent cervix with two miscarriages just previously, even though they didn't last more than 6 weeks. The one in 2009, certainly just being a little bit over 5 months, and having you go through that, technically it's just hard, you know. So we want to look out for that. So she did the measurements. They took my urine, and when the results came back, I was extremely happy. She said that I was overly hydrated, and it was the best result for her, because she said a lot of mothers are so dehydrated, and she said I was overly hydrated. So I was like, yeah, win for me. Um, she also notated that um, told her I was taking magnesium, B6, iron pills, and my prenatal supplements, and I was pretty much switching up the variation every 3 days, like not taking it daily, but taking it every other day, as you know, so as not to like overwhelm my immune system. She was like, well, you've been cleared, you don't have a UTI, everything looks good. She was like, but what we do have to look out for is this faint that you feel, the numbness in your legs, and also the cluster headaches. The cluster headaches are crazy. She said there's pretty much nothing that I can do about the pregnancy rash on my breasts and my itchy skin on my stomach. Pretty much you just have to, stick with the hydrocortisone and stick with the bio oil. She did recommend organ oil as well. She said one of the main concerning factors for her moving forward is definitely going to be watching the growth spurt of the baby, because I am definitely at a higher risk of my cervix thinning the heavier the baby gets, which is why, excuse me, I'm experiencing a lot of those gestational issues that I'm having that don't feel like Braxton Hicks. It's like a compound of things that are just happening. It could come with age, but more than anything else, they pretty much round it all off to just an incompetent cervix that pretty much just thins out the bigger that a child gets. So that just means that if it thins out, labor is going to speed up. It's going to go ahead and, oh my goodness. And it just feels like the baby just steps on the nerve in my vagina or in my anus, and it just is the worst pain. Oh, another thing, the ultrasound. So another ultrasound tech came in, this young lady, and she said, well, I want to, they had me hooked up to so many machines because the baby kept, my son is so active. Oh my goodness. This 6 month is like, he's just taking off. I don't know what he's going to do when he run out of space, because he is, yeah, they were like, we need him to stop moving so we can. And she said, I'm telling on him. I'm turning the screen around. So me and my daughter were able to view and see what she was seeing. And it's so crazy because I told her just yesterday what I felt in my body was this intense, horrible pain. The only way I could describe it is it felt like he was turning. It did. It really felt like he was turning. And she said, "Well, you were right about the turning, and that probably is the like intense pain that you were feeling." He was sideways, you guys. Like he was like balled up like this, but he was doing like this. But mind you, his body is this way in my body. And she said, "Yeah, he's hitting just about every ligament you have." And 9 times out of 10, even though babies do flip, they tend to flip like twice, 2 to 3 times, some babies, but others are very old school. They only flip once, when they have a lot of room, a lot of water. Because she said, "I'm overly hydrated." She was like, he's coming to realize he's running out of room, basically. That's what's happening with him. She said, but it looks like he's taking his time getting ready to start head down position. And so I thought, okay, all right, so that's what I'm feeling, because I'm like more out of breath. The pains are so strange. Everybody's going to go through round ligament or Braxton Hicks, but I do feel like my body is less compatible with the stretching. And oh my goodness. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my word. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's a real bad pain deep down in your vagina, and it just, oh, I don't even understand. I'm new to this. I don't know none of these. I don't know none of these pains. This is crazy. Oh my word. It's the craziest thing. I used to say that pushing the baby out was the most exciting thing that any woman would experience as a mother. Of course, I'm talking about us brave hearts, because I know for a lot of women, especially my 21-year-old, she's like, "I don't see myself having kids." She kept saying that in the hospital last time. I was cracking up. She's like, "Mom, I can always adopt." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, I just can't. I just can't imagine." I was like, "It's okay. It's all right." I was like, giving birth, it hurts, but it's temporary for a gift that's going to last you the rest of your life. And a lot of people have different experiences, and that's just pretty much all it is. Some people push 3 times and their baby is out. Some people are in labor for 12 hours. I tried to come feet first out of my mom. So hey, some people have miscarriages at 5.5 months. I was one of those people. I never expected that to happen, but everybody has a different experience. But the experience in itself to become a parent it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience for the moms and the dads. And I just want to encourage all of my pregnant mamas to be, and any women who've already had this journey and you're just here following me, it's a beautiful experience. And I encourage you to share your story with your children more often. Share your story with other pregnant women. I love personally to speak and hear from everyone and know how they're doing, how they're coming along in their journeys. Even if, you're post-pregnancy 5 to 7 years, doesn't even matter. It's beautiful. And those stories, they mold us. Those experiences, they grow us. And sharing information always helps. So I'm going to take off. I have to get my son off to work, but I just want to tell you guys, I'm hanging in there, and 23 weeks strong, almost to 24. Hey, now I just got to get ready to go crazy baby shopping and try and get ready for baby. I'm about to have a baby. Ah! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Bye. Peace, love, and soul.